All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking a completely epic biological journey into a mind-bending reality. We're talking about an entire universe that's totally invisible to the naked eye. But the crazy part? It's happening right on your skin, deep inside your stomach, and literally all around us at this very second. So let's jump right in.
Seriously, look down at your hands for just a second. Think about this. What if there were trillions of tiny, microscopic creatures just living on you, right now? I know, it sounds straight out of a science fiction movie, but it's an absolute biological fact. You aren't just a single organism walking around, you are an entire breathing ecosystem.
Trillions, with a T. That's the sheer scale of the microscopic life we're dealing with here. To put that into perspective, there are microbes covering almost every single inch of your body. And if we just look at your gastrointestinal tract, what we call the gut microbiome, trillions of these microorganisms have basically set up camp there. They're living together, constantly interacting with your body every single second of the day.
Section 1. Discovering the Unseen World.
Now, for the vast majority of human history, we had absolutely zero clue this world even existed. It was right under our noses. So how did we finally peel back the curtain? Well, it's all thanks to the microscope. Back in the 1590s, these two Dutch eyeglass makers, Zacharias and Hans Janssen, realized that stacking several glass lenses inside a tube made objects near the bottom look way bigger. It was a total game changer. Fast forward to the 1660s, and Anton van Leeuwenhoek started grinding these incredibly precise lenses that could magnify things up to 270 times. He looked at water and actually saw tiny animals swimming around. He called them animalcules, which honestly is a great name, but today we know they were bacteria and protozoa. Around that exact same time, in 1665, Robert Hooke published drawings he made using his compound microscope and became the very first person to use the word cell to describe living organisms.
Section 2. Meet the microbes.
Because of those early pioneers, we get to meet the incredibly diverse cast of characters that run this hidden world. First up, we've got bacteria. These guys are tiny, one-celled survivors. They pull nutrients right out of their environment, and yeah, sometimes that environment is you. The key here is they can reproduce entirely on their own. But then we have viruses. Viruses are way smaller than bacteria, and they actually have a pretty major weakness. They literally cannot survive or grow by themselves. To make copies, they have to hijack a living host cell. They're the ultimate cellular intruders.
Next on the roster, we've got fungi and protozoa. Fungi, like the mushrooms you're probably picturing right now, are multi-celled. But unlike plants, they can't just make their own food. So they hang out in damp, warm places and basically act as nutrient stealers from plants, animals, or even people. On the flip side, we have protozoa. These are one-celled organisms that absolutely love moisture. In fact, they frequently spread their infectious diseases by hitching a ride in contaminated water.
So here's the thing. A lot of us hear the word microbe or germ and instantly panic. But we really need to flip that script. Not all bugs are bad. Your gut microbiome is absolutely packed with good bacteria that help digest your food and even pump out essential vitamins like B and K. We literally couldn't survive without them. The real villains, the ones you actually need to worry about, are called pathogens. These are the harmful germs that invade, gobble up your nutrients, and release these poisonous proteins called toxins. That's what gives you the fevers and chills when you get sick.
Section 3. Your body's defense system.
Knowing that pathogens are constantly trying to break in, it's kind of a miracle we aren't sick all the time, right? Well, your body runs an absolutely brilliant three-tiered military defense strategy to keep you safe. Think of your body like a medieval castle. First, you've got your outer walls and moats. Those are your physical barriers. Next, you have your foot soldiers patrolling the grounds. That's your innate immune system. And finally, if things get really intense, you deploy your highly trained special forces, the adaptive immune system. Let's break down how this works.
Line 1 is all about keeping things out. Your skin acts like this incredible, almost impenetrable fortress wall. If you accidentally swallow a pathogen, the crazy strong acids and enzymes in your stomach are waiting to just dissolve it on contact. And if you breathe a germ in, the sticky mucus inside your nose acts like a trap, catching it before it ever reaches your lungs. And okay, here is a totally gross but kind of amazing fun fact for you. Cows actually lick the insides of their own noses specifically to clean out that bacterial-laden mucus. I mean, nature is efficient, if a little disgusting.
But let's say you get a paper cut, and that skin barrier is breached. The invaders are inside. Boom. Line 2 kicks in, the innate immune system. This system immediately triggers an inflammatory response, rushing blood and these very special white blood cells straight to the battlefield. The absolute stars of this show are the macrophages. Macro means big,
and phage means eater, and that is literally what they do. They are cellular soldiers that roam around, recognize foreign invaders, swallow them completely whole, and destroy them.
But what if the infection is spreading too fast for the macrophages? That's when your body calls in the heavy artillery. Line 3, the adaptive immune system. This relies on super specialized white blood cells called lymphocytes. You've got T cells, which act like the commanding generals, coordinating the whole attack and taking out infected cells. Then you have B cells. These guys are your weapons manufacturers. They produce custom-built weapons called antibodies. And the design here is just mind-blowing. An antibody is designed to lock on to one specific invader perfectly, exactly like a piece clicking into a puzzle, which completely neutralizes the threat.
Now you may be wondering, how do those antibodies know exactly what to lock onto? It all comes down to antigens. An antigen is just a unique little subpart of a pathogen. Think of it like a chemical fingerprint. The second your immune system spots a foreign antigen, it sounds the alarm and starts mass-producing the exact antibodies needed to defeat it. And the best part? Once the battle is over, your body leaves behind memory cells. These cells remember that exact antigen fingerprint for years. So if that same germ ever tries to come back, your body crushes it before you even feel a tickle in your throat. This natural, built-in memory mechanism is exactly what makes our next topic possible.
Section 4. Vaccines and herd immunity. So, once scientists really understood antigens and memory cells, humanity basically developed a biological cheat code. Here's the rundown. A vaccine introduces a totally safe version of the threat into your body. This could be a weakened or inactive piece of the antigen, or even an RNA blueprint that just teaches your cells how to make the antigen temporarily. Because it's inactive or just a blueprint, there is no way it can actually make you sick. But your immune system, it doesn't know it's a drill. It goes into full defense mode, producing all those targeted antibodies. The result is pure genius. Your body creates those long-lasting memory cells without you ever having to suffer through the actual disease. You're fully pre-armed for the real thing.
And honestly, the historical track record of this cheat code is just staggering. Smallpox, a disease that absolutely ravaged humanity for centuries, was completely wiped off the face of the earth by 1980, all because of vaccines. Polio used to paralyze hundreds of thousands of people every single year. Now, thanks to vaccines rolled out in the 50s, it's basically gone. And measles, it's incredibly contagious, but measles vaccines prevented an estimated 60 million deaths just between the years 2000 and 2023 alone. But here's an incredibly important point. Getting vaccinated isn't just about throwing up a personal shield. It's about building a community shield. We call this herd immunity. You see, not everybody can safely get a vaccine. People with severely compromised immune systems, like patients going through chemotherapy or infants who are just too young, they rely on the rest of us. When a really high percentage of people around them are vaccinated, the pathogen just hits a wall. It can't find a new host, so it stops spreading. Herd immunity protects the most vulnerable people in our society.
The World Health Organization actually hits the nail on the head here. They say vaccinating not only protects yourself, but also protects those in the community who are unable to be vaccinated. It really is the ultimate team sport. By keeping the community shielded, we ease the massive strain on our hospitals, we keep kids in school, and we just build a stronger foundation where everyone has a fighting chance.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something to chew on. We started off by talking about the trillions, literally trillions of microscopic creatures living on and inside you right now. Your gut microbiome is quietly working to keep you nourished, while your immune system is fighting this invisible, non-stop war against pathogens just to keep you alive. So considering our entire existence relies on this totally unseen, delicate microscopic balance, who do you think really runs the world? Humans or microbes? Thanks so much for joining me on this journey today.